Hello, this is JJ from Paranormal Talks, paranormaltalks.com. We are back for part 4, the last part, with our wonderful speaker and Kundalini awakened person, Penny Kelly. So let's get going with this next and last section. We want to hear about technology and earth changes in this coming year, 2020. What's ahead for us, Penny?
Well, I think there's a lot. I mean, we could go in so many directions with the technology piece, but
I love it.
let's talk about some of the philosophical aspects of technology, because one of the questions that I get a lot is goes something like this. I'm trying to expand my consciousness, and why should I do this or do that when I can go to the store, or I can buy a telephone and communicate, etc. I can turn on the television and have a vision of what's going on across the world, or things like that. In other words, people are trying to decide whether technology is good or bad. And I don't think we can qualify it in that way. When you have a three-dimensional physical reality, which is what we have here, then it's going to be very natural for us to take the human potentials that are embedded in our system and to build those out into three-dimensional physical form. So we have television, and we have radio, which is clairaudience, and we have telephone, which is telepathy.
We have TV, which is
Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance.
Right.
Clairvoyance.
Very good. So I think we have to realize that one of the phases, one of the gifts of being in a three-dimensional physical reality is the technology, and all of the understanding of the nature of the place is really important. So what we have coming up on our horizon, I guess I'll call it, is the plasma physics. And plasma physics is the study of frequencies and fields. So you get an electric current, it's moving along, and around that electric current, let's say this is the electric current, and around that is this field of electromagnetic energy. And if it's spinning to the right, it's kind of an explosive energy. If it's spinning to the left, it's going to be a magnetic. And that is the new definition of gravity, is magnetics that draws to itself, and magnetics that pushes away is called repulsion. And so I think the whole question of gravity is going to disappear. We have new definitions of reality, and gravity is pretty much is agreed by a lot of people that we just didn't understand what gravity was, and the way we were going about trying to explain it was never going to come to anything because we didn't have the right understanding of where it was coming from. Gravity is separate from electromagnetics. So I think what I see coming in terms of technology is we're going to end up realizing, oh my gosh, it is an electric universe. If it's an electric universe, and we're moving from a clockwork universe to an electric universe, there's an entire philosophical shift and paradigm shift in science that happens as a result of that. And
that's huge.
It is.
Huge.
It is. And the technology that is available with that shift is stunning, because what comes of that is the learning of how to direct the frequencies and how to utilize them to retune a human body, how to do things with plants, we'll call it. There's just so many things that you can do. How to dissolve some radiation. Let's pretend we're going to dissolve the radiation around Fukushima. All you need is some frequency manipulation to happen there, and it's gone. You've changed the dynamics of all of the frequencies that make up radiation, and it goes away.
It sounds like the Atlanteans. From what I've read of the Edgar Casey readings,
Oh,
there is a small chunk about Atlantis, since Casey came from Atlantis. Many of
okay,
us did, but him. Yeah, that sounds very Atlantean.
okay. Well, maybe we're catching up to some place that we left off in the distant.
Well, yes, that's in the mass consciousness.
Yeah, I would
And
think.
it's just a matter of time before we remember it and
Yeah,
re-manifest it into our physical environment.
right, right.
It's
So,
it's 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 part of being human. It's part of humanity. It's
yeah,
unavoidable. Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's part of humanity because we are part of the system. We're made of frequencies.
Yes.
And so what you get, actually, I'm putting together a course on, on understanding this right at this point in time. But I think when we see the technology that is available or
Yes.
coming available,
Yes.
that's all new heating systems.
Yes.
That's all new air purification system, water purification system,
Yes.
um, the enhancement of nutrition and food,
Yes.
et cetera, et cetera. So, and what happens in a human is if they're a collection of frequencies,
Mm-hmm.
and just like a piano can play all these different frequencies, all these tunes. When your piano gets out of tune, it
Mm-hmm.
sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
When your body gets out of tune, all sorts of things don't work right. You don't sleep. You don't hear. You have bad digestion. I mean, your teeth may fall out. Your eyes get bad. Your hair falls out. All
Yeah.
sorts of stuff can go wrong.
Yeah.
And so you end up in this aging position. And when you know how to utilize frequencies, you can reverse those
Mm-hmm.
frequencies back to their original state, which means age reversal. And
Mm-hmm.
that is on our horizon. And
Wow.
there are all sorts of things that are possible in terms of transportation and communication, unlimited transportation and communication. I think humans going to end up having to say, okay, what was I doing here? What was the point? And we're going
So, so that seems to totally skip the self-driving automobile. It just
the
skips it.
self-driving automobile is already out there. I think Google has like 2 billion hours or miles or something like that that they've already tested. That's only a stepping stone to
Oh,
the
okay.
automobile that doesn't have wheels and that operates on magnetics
Yeah.
and doesn't even touch the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're headed in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
We already, well, I shouldn't say that because it's too controversial, but we're looking at teleportation chambers in which you just transport yourself from here to there.
Well, at Paranormal Talks, we like controversial. That's the awakening.
Okay.
That's the
Okay,
awakening.
so there are the possibility is and it's not a possibility. So the technology that's coming for general implementation is the ability to scan the entire body
Mm-hmm.
and all of its frequencies and memorize exactly what that frequency arrangement is. And I think that's some of what the TSA has been doing. They're practicing scanning frequencies. What can we learn from this? And it'll dawn on them, down the road a piece.
DNA. I've heard that it's to collect our individual DNA for manipulation.
Well, there's always that. You do want to learn how to manipulate DNA. People are so afraid of everything they don't understand.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think it's really important that people get comfortable with the idea that if we're going to have an honorable society, we're going to have a society that doesn't jump to all these snap judgments, that doesn't criticize and condemn
Mm,
just at the drop of a hat. that doesn't turn away just because of ignorance, et cetera, et cetera. If we're going to have an expanded consciousness, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, you can't have telepathy and privacy.
I know.
Because telepathy is,
Oh dear.
I say to people, I'm sorry, I live in a world where there is no privacy. None.
And that's consciousness. That's consciousness.
Right. You don't have telepathy that goes in and says, well, let's see, he doesn't want this known or that known, or, covering up this. In the end, you end up looking at that and going, well, that I saw that. So what? So he's human or she's human. Is there anything
And there's no judgment or condemnation of what you saw.
Right. What there is this response that says, wow, this guy needs help. How do we help? And that's about empathy. That's about compassion. That's about educating without embarrassing.
Yeah.
Coaxing along little by little. And I think we have to we can't address the new technology. We can't get our minds around it and our hearts if we don't address the philosophical and moral and spiritual side of things.
Yeah.
Those things go hand in hand.
Yep.
So we're right at that doorstep right now. And of course, whenever you have the ability to learn how to embed frequencies in something, then you have a whole new set of possibilities. So
what does that look like?
Embedding frequencies in material.
Yeah.
So that means, for instance, you can take a jar of water and you can embed material in it that will act like lithium. And so your depression goes away and you have none of the side effects of the drug. Just lithium acts on you. It means that you can take a tube of some kind of goo, whatever kind of paste you can dream up, carbon-based, ideally, and you can embed the frequencies, the entire frequency set of broccoli and apples and butter and whatever you want in your full nutritional spectrum, and have a teaspoon of that a couple times a day, and you're well fed, and every single nutritional need is covered, and we already have that.
Whoa.
That
Wait
means
a minute. We already have that? How do you know we already have that?
I have seen it. And I was working in the lab with Dr. Levengood. We tested many of the different vials of materials that a scientist out in the Northwest was producing, and they're phenomenal. They were phenomenal. And
so there's no food shortage. There's no starvation.
No. But here's the thing. If you, there's a lot of people don't like to cook. So if you just take this teaspoon of stuff every day, a couple of teaspoons, or maybe in the beginning you need 5 tablespoons or whatever, you're going to lose a lot of weight. Yeah. If you don't need a huge gastrointestinal system operating, then you're going to slim down and you're going to look more and more like an alien body. How they got to where they're at. So the more you are able to do that, the more you expand your consciousness, the bigger your eyes get, because you begin taking in light of a very large range through the eyes. And so the eyes become critical, and the stomach shrinks and the eyes get big. Same with the brain, et cetera, et cetera. So we're coming up on these technologies that are going to change us at the body level, and that's down the ways, a bit. There's just so much fun that we can be having here. on this planet at this time.
Mhm.
And I think we just need to give ourselves permission to enjoy, to laugh, to sing, to dance, and watch those elections over there, and watch what's happening with that technology over there, and enjoy life the way that it's meant to be enjoyed, while developing the potential of the human, which is designed to unfold, very much like an oak, like an acorn.
Yeah.
You know, becomes a seedling, and then becomes the sapling, and then becomes a young tree, and then becomes this massive old tree that is just almost indestructible.
Mhm.
That's us.
Mhm.
And we're headed in that direction, but you have to know that you're only halfway there.
Hmm.
And, and if you're dying at 60 or 70, you're not going to make it, because the body is designed to live to be 150. And you should,
Or older, I understand.
or older, 150 without any hassle.
Right, right. That's
Older,
still a young person, 150 years old.
yeah, yeah. There are, you
Uh-huh.
know, if you learn the right technology, you can
Yes. Yeah.
go away right
Uh,
through.
so one of the Casey readings said there will be a time in humanity's history, where all healing, all medicine is conducted with frequency.
That's right. Yeah.
Frequency. I think he used the word sound in particular. Sound frequency.
Sound and light. Yeah. And we already have that.
Yes.
Um, you know, there have been some studies being conducted out of Italy in which the, you know, individual who had some kind of disease or problem is subjected to a frequency that resets them to their signature frequency.
Yeah.
And when that happens, then whatever the disease was is erased, because the disease is a set of frequencies
Yeah.
that have developed. And when you erase those, the disease is erased.
Right. From the physical,
From the
because
physical.
yeah, we are multi-layered, multi-leveled,
Yeah,
and our flesh frequency is the slowest frequency, which takes our cues from the higher frequencies.
right, right. You're
Mhm.
basically made of light. We're all made of light.
Yes, we are light beings.
Yeah, we are. And we give off light.
Mhm.
You know, and when I'm looking at somebody's lights, it's easy to see, they need a recharge. So, yeah,
Yes.
it's one of those things that is, I think we're coming into, that's going to be part of the diagnostics of the future.
Yeah.
Um, Without it, we're still back in the dark ages. So,
Yes, yes, we are. So very exciting times for us. All of these
yeah,
won't come true in 2020, but this is a step forward in that direction. So,
yeah,
and any last words in the last 2 minutes here?
yeah, there is something. If we did not have this moment of upset and uproar and everything looks like it's falling apart, we would not be able to bring in these changes.
Right. Yeah.
Everything is kind of stuck and glued together in the old pattern, and only when that breaks down is there room for something new, something different, something inspiring, something, you know, that we can go, oh wow, that's really, that I think, keep that in mind as we move into the future. We have to have this period of or disorganization. You know, science would cause it entropy. Any system that remains closed to change
Mm.
does not ever survive. It just becomes, you know, it has greater and greater entropy, which means greater and greater disorganization and dysfunction until it falls apart. So, you know,
Until it dies.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
And
does. So,
and I think that's where we're at.
yes. So, uh, experiencing this turmoil, that's what we're experiencing. We're all
That's a good
in
word.
turmoil about the president. We're in turmoil about politics. We're in turmoil about getting what we want. Turmoil. It's necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the stirring of the pot that allows new stuff to come to the surface.
Oh boy. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
exciting times ahead.
yeah,
Well, Penny Kelly, thank you so much for sharing with us and helping us understand and prepare for the coming year 2020, because we will need that help. Let me show you her website one more time and the books that will help you. This is the book Penny Kelly wrote in the 80s, where she
yep,
first told us about, yes, told us about the higher frequency beings who told her about what's coming up for us now. They were
yeah,
telling her that in the 80s. And then to help you through this election cycle, Trump and the Sting, the storm to retake America. So
yeah.
take a look, get these books. It will comfort you and help you as we move into and through 2020. And Penny, thank you so much for your time and sharing with us. So this is the end of part 4. And please visit Penny Kelly's website, consciousnessonfire.com. Okay. Thank you so much, Penny. We'll see you
Welcome.
next time. Take
Okay.
care. This is JJ over and out. Bye.